The last time I had HM Mobile was when we went up to Scotland, but it did what it had to do, and it tuned it every time. You know, just so the transmitter can see 50 ohms and is happy. But that's a shame about the big auto tuner from LPG. I would have put them better than MSJ.
All-star repeater system.
I suppose it's no two things are the same. But no, there's a lot of MFJ stuff on eBay I see popping up now and then. But I paid quite a bit for this Kenwood tune. It's a manual one. It's an old one. But yeah, it's great. What I like about it though, I can flick it in and out just with the toggle switch. I can pick an SWR reading and also a power reading. But I've got to get myself a good power meter, because I've got one that does 250, but I'm going to need a bigger one than that. A bigger one than that, so I'm still looking anyway to see what I can find. But the other tuner I've got is, it's a very, very old tuner. So old I can't even remember the bloody name of it. Oh, it's under the desk. It was made in 1973. It's a Japanese tuner. And it's a beautiful thing, roller coaster. I can't remember the name of it. Don't worry about it. Paid a lot of money for that, but it's got no WALC bands on it. That's why I bought the Kenwood one.
Work bands are kind of important at this point, aren't they? At least 17. 17 is the only one I really give a crap about. I have the same, I think James has the same tuner that I have. And I use it for the 857, and it's awesome. I love that tuner, the LDG Z11 Pro 2. It's got you can force load the antenna. It's an auto tuner. I'm sure you've seen one. And it's got the capacitance and inductance buttons on the front. So if you run a tuning cycle on it and you're not happy with it, you can force load it. And that is slick, dude. You can snap that antenna right flat if you want to. That's the only, if I was running only 100 watts all the time, that's the tuner I would have. It's not even that expensive, and man, slick. The only thing that would really help it to make it easier, because it tunes, you can leave it right in sideband and you can talk into the mic. You can start calling and it'll start tuning as you talk. But, you know, the only thing I got to do, which I haven't done, is I got to make a little PTT switch and use it as a CW trigger. So I can just switch the mode, switch it to the CW, hit the button, and wham, it'll give you a continuous tone, and then it'll really tune nice and quick. I tried it with my voice only, and it's weird, dude. It's weird. It like, you know, because you have to basically go in the microphone and sit there while it's tuning. So that's the only drawback. But the big plus is that you can force load the antennas, which is fantastic, I think.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. TSMR channel. No, I've got the baby one, the Z100 Plus. Leader, yeah, that was the name of the tuner. And They're great. They're absolutely great, Not a lot of money, but they do the job brilliantly, and they don't take up a lot of space in the motor either. Listen, we're going to watch a bit of YouTubing. It's getting late here, and oh god! If I start yakking, I'll still be here at 1 o'clock. So I'm going to take my leave. Anyway. Yeah, that's about all I've got to tell you, really. I haven't put the HF radio on once today, so I don't know what's been going on. And see how far I can work the mode tomorrow, because it's back on 2, running with about 15 watts, so I think there it will stay. So I'm going out into Wales tomorrow, so we'll see how we get on with that. Steve, I'm going to disappear, mate, anyway. I hope you get your truck finished tomorrow, anyway. I'll go back to you and I'm going to disappear, buddy.
Yeah, no problem there. Lisa's home, so I'm going to go out and say hello to my lovely wife and see how her day was, so that's a good timing. Have a good one, man. We'll catch up with you tomorrow. And you too, Cheryl. And, yeah, I'm going to be out of here for a little bit. Don't know if I'll be back tonight, but I'll be listening. 7:30, buddy. K1GMM.
Okie dokie. We'll say hello to your Scooby-Doo, and Mummy your Scooby-Doo as well. See you later, buddy. G7RH after.
Okay, that was the audio driving in overlap. I'm still currently in overlap areas here. But you can hear, I don't know if it's going to come out very well on the video here, but you can hear that where the overlap is particularly, I don't know what you describe it, bad, when you hear the carrier kind of fluttering. And you can hear very, very, very minor distortion in the voice audio. It's extremely minor. It's actually most of the time extremely hard to detect. Sometimes undetectable to my ear anyway, but I don't have the best ears in the world. That's what I have test equipment for. So it's with the 9.6 megahertz phase lock loop that's disciplined to a 10 megahertz GPS reference source, has pretty much put the system on par with the commercial systems that I have used and that I have dealt with. Only time will tell if the reliability is there and so on and so forth, but so far it's been performing exactly the way I would expect a commercial simulcast system that costs many, many times more than what this costs to implement. So that's pretty much what I wanted to get at. I hadn't made a video of the current, driving through the overlap and listening to the audio lately. And I wanted to do one today, just so you can compare that audio, in overlap to the one I made previously with using the 9.6 megahertz crystal ovens only. So this is the comparison between that video and comparing it to the 9.6 megahertz phase lock loop circuit. So it performs exactly as I hoped it would. I don't get any of that PL warble. I don't get any of that fan effect when you drive through the overlap area. It just works as it should. So hopefully there'll be some more testing in the future that I can post up on YouTube, and as some people may know, I've been working on a wiki trying to document everything that I've done, and also general documentation on how simulcast with the RTCM is achieved. It's a work in progress. It may not be the most organized thing in the world, but I'm certainly trying to get as much information on there as I can and make it readable by most people. And trying not to make too many assumptions with other people's knowledge, so that somebody can get up and running quickly. As a lot of us know, sometimes when you read documentation on something, it does make assumptions on things that you already should know and understand. And I'm trying not to have that be too much of the case. But once again, it's something that you can't, I can't teach an entire class from the ground up on simulcast theory and not have this thing be a gigantic monstrosity online. But it's definitely going to clear up a lot of questions as far as simulcasting with the RTCM is concerned, and how to avoid some of the pitfalls and other things that you may encounter when trying to do this. That's my goal. I mean, I suffered through some things, some experimental phases, trying to get things to work and not sure how they work, and asking other people who've done it before. And so that's what I'm trying to accomplish, is to aggregate this information in one place. So when I have more information on it, I'm gonna post the link to the wiki on my YouTube channel, and that way everybody can benefit from it, and also people can add to it as well. I would like that to become a way that we can have more of a complete form of documentation on the RTCM and amateur radio simulcast in general. It's something that's been primarily reserved for entities with deep pockets, and this is in no way cheap. As far as the average Joe, no pun intended, is concerned, but it's much less expensive than a commercial system. I mean, just to throw numbers out there, you're talking, for a 2-site system, you're probably talking $10,000 to $15,000 at the most to put a 2-site system in, compared with a 2-site system on a commercial level, which can cost you into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. So, but I've mentioned all this before. So, but yeah, listen to the audio. I'm sure people are going to jump around and listen to it, and I would compare the two videos. I know that's what I plan to do. Compare between the other two videos. I know it's not exactly an apples-to-apples comparison. In the other videos, I was in a different area, and that's also when I had my the second transmitter was actually at my house, which was very convenient because the overlap area was very close to me, because I was running low power, and I didn't have the advantage of a 200-foot tower on top, top of a mountaintop that had a ground elevation of 1,500 feet. So I only had to go a short distance to be within the overlap. But it's definitely performing as I would expect. So that's it for now. If anybody has any questions, or if anybody wants to know more about what I've done, you want to speak to me in person, shoot me an email, kc2irv@gmail.com, and I'd be more than happy to talk to you and kind of give you all the information that I have. I have no qualms with sharing every bit of information about the things that I've done and how I got this to work. So That's it for now. 73s.